know what I'm doing wrong. And you kind of have to guess about your 8-foot wide space. I have just under $2,000 worth of inventory and I still don't think that's enough. So let's stress myself out. I have 2 markets this weekend. I have one on Saturday and one on Sunday. And then I have one the next week on Sunday, December 22nd. Yeah, 22nd. So in preparation for that, I have created a list. It is called December Prep. And it is a bunch of items that I think my table could use. So let me go through the list with you and then we'll see how far we can actually get through this list before December 22nd. So first off are my mystery bags, and I broke it down into separate ones. So I only need 1 mini greenie, 2 Santa penguins, 1 Yeti, and 1 Christmas tree, because I only offer 4 different types of little plushies in my mystery bags. And then I have 1 stork, which I'm currently working on. He is in the process of being made. Then I have 1 baby safe triceratops. All of the parts are there. He just needs to be sewn together and embroidered. And that's time consuming, and honestly I procrastinate that part every single time. And then 2 no-eyed turtles, because I think I only have 5 of them right now. A cat snuggler, 1 Yoshi, 1 gingerbread man, and then a gingerbread girl, 1 shark, and I just found this pattern on Instagram. It's a free pattern, but 1 gingerbread bat, then 1 Bluey, 1 Snorlax, 2 blue keychains because I'm running low on those. No. 1 horse, 1 Squishmas. Those are free patterns on Instagram by an account, and I didn't select a specific one just because I wanted to give myself a little bit of I wanted to give myself a little more option and room to play with ideas. And then I have 2 chunky penguins and 2 mini brontosauruses to make. So they're all in lists, and as soon as I finish them, I will be checking them off. So I'm hoping to get at least half of this list done. Some of them are bigger items and I probably won't get to them, and others are just, I don't know, a pain to make, or I've never made them before, so I don't even know if I'll be able to do them. Sorry, my daughter is trying to steal the tripod, so I will pause from this and resume crocheting my stork and seeing if I can get that done tonight, because I only have the wings and toes left to do, I believe, and then I sew it together. So I think it's basically done. finished all of the stork parts today, and I put them in my W.I.P.S organizer. So I have the stork parts and the triceratops parts all made. So I made note of that on my list. And what I came up with is that my plan for the rest of the week is I'm just going to try to crochet all the parts and sew them at the very last minute. So I don't plan on having anything really made and finalized unless it's completely no-sew for Saturday, because Saturday is a market that I don't expect to have a lot of people there, and my daughter will be being babysat by her great-grandmother. So I'm just gonna bring all the parts and sew it at the event, because it goes from I think 10 to 4, which will make it pretty easy to, bang out a few of those. I'm going to be doing a meanie greenie for my next one, and once that's done, I'll probably move on to the Yeti, the Christmas tree, and then probably a gingerbread, because I feel like because the holiday markets, I should have at least one gingerbread person, and since I do charge $37 for them, it's pretty decent. And they're an eye catcher, so even if it doesn't sell, it'll draw people into my booth. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm going to be sitting here crocheting until dinner is done and just taking a few minutes to myself. Only now, as I'm editing this video, did I realize that I did not film any clips transitioning from market prepping and loading up my car. So this is me loading up the car literally the night before my market. It's like 7 p.m. at this time. My husband's putting our daughter down for bed, and I'm just loading up the car in my PJs. Do not say anything about my belly. I know it's out. I know it just cannot be contained right now in the PJs that I'm wearing. I have to wear my husband's shirts. It's just gotten to that point where we don't fit into clothes. I was large in my last pregnancy as well. I'm used to it by this time. And a woman the other day even asked me how many weeks I had left, and I regrettably informed her that I'm actually only 6 months pregnant and I have quite a ways to go. And she made a comment about how she was my size when she was 9 months pregnant, about to pop, and I just kind of stood there because I know that I will always have a larger belly than a lot of women, but it's fine. I wouldn't give it up for the world. I love being pregnant. I love all of this, but it does make loading my car a little hard, and these angles are not the most flattering because you can just see my whole belly sticking out the entire time, but it's what it is. I can get my car loaded for the most part by myself. It just takes me a little longer. It is the night before my market, so it is Friday, about 8:40 at night. And I am packing up my project bag right now because obviously you can't go to a market without having something to work on. And I know that this market that I'm going to be going to tomorrow is really slow. I will be lucky if I make my booth fee back, which is kind of unfortunate because the booth fee is $15, but I just did this to like fill my time because I hadn't had any other markets that I could find for this weekend. Now that really bit me in the butt because there's a market that was looking for people for their 2-day market this weekend, and unfortunately I could only sign up for 1 day and not both of them. But it's what it is. So I have tomorrow at the Berlin Elementary School, and then tomorrow is at Camp Mead in Middlesex, so that should be a lot of fun. Anywho, let me show you some of the things that I was able to get done. I have my gingerbread guy all done. All of the small parts of my items are in here so that they don't get lost in my larger bag. This guy is used with the Big Twist Posh in brown butter, and if any of you did the like last minute shopping in Joann's and hitting all of the like, I don't even want to call them deals because as soon as they started liquidating, you couldn't use the coupons and it became more expensive than before. So I guess closing sales. But towards the end of Joann's, R.I.P., there were skeins that just kind of were either full of knots, just thin, bad quality, kind of crunchy too. I did get 2 skeins that were just like, I'm probably not going to be able to use them for anything other than like embroidering things onto plushies. But this skein, unfortunately, had parts where like the dye didn't come in properly. And I think it's okay for like a gingerbread man because I don't know about you, but when I make gingerbread, sometimes they don't come out fully cooked. So maybe he's just an undercooked boy. I know some parts of it, like this front section, I'll be able to cover up with his bow tie. But for the others, I don't know if I will embroider to cover it up or what. Maybe he'll be like $2 off. Or I'll sell him at full price and see if he sells. If he doesn't, maybe this one is one I just keep for myself because I was planning on making a gingerbread boy and girl for myself because I think they are absolutely adorable. So I have that one. I have my little stork pattern all completed, and then I have all of the parts to a baby safe Triceratops. And the stork is also going to be baby safe. I didn't put eyes in it. I'm gonna embroider the eyes onto it because I just think that that would be like a really cute gift to give someone on their baby shower, because it has a little baby bundle that it goes into its mouth. So I thought that was cute. I also made a mini greenie, little Grinch. What I'm doing for my market is I'm going to take all of the projects that are not sewn together, aren't finished, like all the embroidery. Obviously the Grinch still needs a nose and his heart, but I'm bringing all of those pieces to this slow market tomorrow so that I can just sit down and sew everything together and finish it up. And I have projects, but I don't have to start anything new if I, you know, don't want to. But that's the game plan for tomorrow. I made a note on my December prep that the parts are made for the mini greenie, the stork, the Triceratops, the gingerbread man, and I took a peek into the other mystery bags that I still have left, which I only have 3. And in these mystery bags, here's a photo of what you can get in the bags. You can get a Grinch, a penguin with a hat, a Yeti, and a Christmas tree. So in my bags, I have a Yeti, I have a Christmas tree, and I have a mini greenie. So I have to make a Santa penguin, hopefully. And then I can make other things like the Christmas tree or Yeti to even out the numbers so people have more chances. Tonight though, I have to prep some more of the mystery bags themselves, because I get these at the dollar store and then I just write mystery bag and I use one of my snowflake stamps. So that will be done before I go to bed tonight. It's like 9 o'clock. I don't know how much more I will get off of this list. I don't think I'm gonna start a new project tonight. I think I will be bringing some yarn to start a new project if I want to. I know I said I was going to do the mystery bags last night and put the stamp and everything on them, and then I just got sidetracked with making a pie chart in Excel to show me what percentage of items are certain prices. So like under $10, how much of that is my inventory and how many items do I have that are under 10, just so that I have a better understanding of my price ranges and making sure I have enough of each price range to supply to people, because obviously your under 10 stuff is going to do much better than your $16 or $60 or more. So yeah, I got sidetracked with that. That didn't really need to get done last night, but whatever. We have our ink pad, our stamp, and then our fancy dancy Sharpie that I will be writing mystery bag on these dollar store bags. So let me get these done. I have 2 sets of them, 3 come in each set, and I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to do just one of these, and I'll bring the ink pad and everything just in case I make more, because realistically I am gonna make 2 Santa penguins. I already have a mini greenie basically done, and I have one of those mystery bags that's, you know, written on, so that leaves like one more option, which I think will probably be the Christmas tree. I might bring the Yeti stuff as well. But after this, because my daughter is still sleeping, it's like 6:20, I'm gonna start on a Santa penguin and just see how far we get before she wakes up, and we have to do breakfast, load the car, and go drop her off. Okay, there we go. Mystery bag. So that is one down and 2 more to go. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I'm using the free Instagram pattern by, I think it's Yarntastic Crochet, and my penguin is not turning out the way it's supposed to be. So I just unraveled this because this wing was all the way right here. That's not centered at all. Also, I have 2 random stitches here. I'm gonna finish this one and then discount it, but this can't go in my mystery bags because that's terrible. I'm gonna sell this guy for like $3. Like, what am I supposed to do? Is it the way it's written? Is it my mess up? I don't know. Either way, my daughter is now awake, so we're going to get her dressed, give her a banana, a cup of goat's milk, and then load up the rest of the car and head to my mother-in-law's. Ignoring this terrible glare that the camera is having because of the school lights, this is my entire booth setup, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I was able to fit most everything. So this was my first time ever recording myself in public around people, so as you can tell, I'm still not, confident enough to be talking to the camera, but I decided to work on this Triceratops because I actually left all of my stuffing at home. Yes, that was a big pain in the butt, and I also forgot a charger for my phone, so that sucked. But what are you gonna do? You roll with the flow. It's whatever. I was able to basically spend my time just working on this Triceratops, and honestly, it was great motivation for me because, as I said earlier, I always procrastinate sewing together these parts just because there's so many pieces to this Triceratops, and I despise embroidering this guy, but I was actually able to finish him and put him out on my table. No, he didn't sell, but at least I have another, baby safe item for customers to look at. He's a character from the Mario movie. His name's Lumi. It was the very depressed star in the dungeons. His character was interesting.
He's so cute. These are cute too.
Thank you.
Are you gonna buy them? For a second. It's pretty cute. Let me come around and help.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Doing well.
They're cute. I can help you put those back up in the truck. There you go.
Everyone's packing up early, but it really paid off for my booth to stay open because I just sold my last holiday mystery bag, and that's pretty dang awesome. Friday, which means I am many days late on filming this and a few days late on posting this, so I apologize. But reality is everyone's got a life and it gets chaotic sometimes, and I will be completely honest, that weekend was a lot for me and I needed a few days of a break because I am spoiled. I usually have assistants for all of my markets, and my husband helps me unload the car, set up, he keeps me company, and then he also helps dismantle my setup and pack the car. So I didn't have that on either of the days. So I was rocking it completely solo, which was honestly really fun because it gave me more to talk about when I got home. And like my husband and I could talk about things that obviously the other one hadn't been there for, because I don't know if you guys run into the same problem, but if you're with your spouse for a long period of time, you just kind of like run out of things to say. Like you can't ask, how was your day? I was with you the entire day. I gathered how your day was. Anyway, I digress. Let's get into talking about my markets. So the first one that I did was Saturday, and that was at the Berlin Elementary School. Now this one had the booth fee of $15, and I like to do this one anytime I have a free moment because it's $15. If I don't make that, it's kind of a drop in the bucket for me. It's not that big of a deal. At least I got out of the house. I was able to set up pretty well. I had a very nice man lend me his dolly so that I could unload my car efficiently in one whole sweep, and I'm planning on getting a dolly, like a collapsible dolly, for next year. I'll put a picture up here of what I'm looking at. I actually saw an ad on it for TikTok, but I don't buy through TikTok, so I'm just gonna go straight to Amazon for it. It looks pretty decent, and I think it would help me a lot with when I have to deal with 2 under 2 at my markets as well. So he was very kind and he helped me set up, or not set up, but unload my car and get everything inside. And then when I was taking everything down, I actually had one of the 5th graders and her mom help bring all of my stuff out to the car, and that was really nice. But as for setting up at this event, it's always a little funky, I'd say, because they don't actually map out their booth sizes with tape or anything. They just put 2 chairs at the space that they've assigned you, and you kind of have to guess about your 8-foot wide space, or I think it's like 8 to 10 feet. So it's really like flowy or flexible. So I was kind of in the middle of one of the long walls on the gym, directly across from the entrance. So that was nice. I thought that was a prime spot. And then there was another booth next to me. They had bought 2 spaces, so theirs went from my space all the way to the corner, and they were pressed up completely right next to me. Didn't mind. I even told them like they could press up right next to my table. However, now thinking about it, I would have just slid down for them because I didn't realize that after me there was going to be like a 6-foot gap to the next crafter. So that was a little strange. I could have, you know, placed myself in the middle of those 2. But, you know, we did what we did. We learned for next times. Now, getting into how the day went overall, I'd say it was great. I was sat across from a vendor who was selling children's clothes or something. At least that's what I could make out. I didn't actually get up and walk around this event. Their little girl that they had kept coming over and wanting to buy things, and I think that ended up becoming problematic for them, along with the, you know, irritation that they didn't make money within the first 2 hours. So they actually packed up and left early, which was a little frustrating because, I mean, in my opinion, you paid for this event. You sent off an application and a document saying that you were going to stay the whole time. It's your obligation to stay. I understand. Well, maybe not obligation. I guess it's just respectful. And so when vendors leave early, I find that very disrespectful, not just to the event organizer, but to all of us other vendors, because if you go to these craft fairs, you probably know, once people start packing up, it looks like the event is dead. Customers aren't going to be coming around and actually spending the appropriate time that they would be at your booth. And so those vendors that are packing up early are making the other ones that want to stay miss out on sales. And then the event organizer worked pretty hard to create this event, and they maybe had rented out the venue or whatever for a certain amount of time, and then you just wasted a few hours that they spent money on or worked for. So it bugged me. But also, coming from, you know, a different perspective, I understand it. You feel completely disheartened when you don't make sales, and like your mood just gets gloomier and gloomier. And if I had a kid next to me that kept going over and wanting to spend money when I'm not even making any, it'd be difficult for me. So if I wasn't able to have someone come and get my kiddo and maybe take them to a park or something, but distract them, I would probably go, yeah, that's it for today, we've got to go. So with her case, I was understandable, and it was fine. She was the only one who left I think she left at noon, and our event started at 10. So that was whatever. However, that booth was the one that helped me make my booth fee back in the first 20 minutes. So I sold a cat snuggler for $50, and that was pretty impressive. Well, that was pretty nice for me because I've had that cat for like half a year, and I think it's the cutest darn thing ever. But nobody was willing to pay $50 for it. But a teenager that was working the booth with those girls got it, and I was so happy. Most of my purchases did come from other vendors, which, hey, it happens. There wasn't a lot of traffic. I did get people stopping at my booth. I got some, it was really nice. I got some people to actually scan my Linktree QR, so they were able to see my socials. And I think the way I was able to address it, like when they were asking what the QR code did, helped me gain followers. Like, you know, I don't know if it's organically or whatever, but through human interaction, I gained followers and, you know, interactions on my social media pages. And the way I was explaining that, I was like, yep, those go to all my social media pages, the embarrassing and not, because to be honest, the YouTube and TikTok are the ones that I would say are embarrassing. So that was pretty cool to be able to get people to actually use my Linktree. It kind of gave me hope on getting out of my comfort zone and really like promoting the business and the social media aspect, because we all know we have phones, we're attached to them, we like going on them, and if I can connect to people, you know, a few states over or even a few towns over, that would be phenomenal. I would really love to see my little business grow a bit in the next year or so. But back to the vendors, most of my sales were from them. The lady next to me, with the 6-foot gap in between our tables, she was actually there at her first ever craft fair or market, so that was pretty cool. Congrats to her. She came over and bought 2 mushroom pops, and after the event she ended up texting my Facebook page, my business Facebook page, and asked for a commission. So I was able to get a commission done this week as well, and it was a mushroom pop with a blue variegated top, which I liked so much that I made an extra one for the market that I have this Sunday. Now, at the end of this event, unfortunately, people started packing up early again. It ended at 4, I think, and people were packing up at like 2:30, which was a big bummer because I think they missed out on sales. There were people still coming in. There was a bunch of kids that flocked in, and it looked really, really weird to have basically an empty gym, and the only 2 vendors that were still set up was my booth and someone who made candles. I felt really bad for the organizer because she tries really hard to make these events at Berlin Elementary like popular. Now for all of my profit and stuff. So like I said, the booth fee was $15. I sold 13 items, and I will actually go through the order in which I sold. So before 11 o'clock, so this is in the first hour, I sold a cat snuggler, a whale, and the young man who bought a whale from me, I actually gave him a squid for free because I had it in my stash, and I didn't even have a place to put it on my table because it was just like a $5 one shot. So he got that for free because he seemed like a decent kid. I sold an octo, a gummy bear, a mystery bag, and then after that time, I didn't keep track of it. I will be honest, it was rough. But then I sold a mushroom pop, another mushroom pop, a mystery bag, my elephant, a mystery bag, my Melman the hippo, and I've had him for a year, and I'm so happy that Melman went away, and his story is actually really cute. An EMT bought him so that she could give it to a kid in the ER, and I just thought that was really sweet. And I had discounted him $5, so instead of $25, he was $20. I mean, that's way lower than he should have been priced anyway, because he was made out of Bernat velvet yarn, and that's a hard yarn to work with, and it took me a very long time. But because of his size, I was like, nobody is gonna pay more than $25, and I do this for fun, so it doesn't matter. And then I sold an octo keychain. So total items were 13, and that was a profit of $185 worth of stuff. Doing all the math, I was able to take home $170. And my most popular item on that day was actually the mystery bags, and I sold out of those. So that was insane for me. I sold out of my first ever item. I've never sold out of anything before, so that was really fun. These are like holiday themed mystery bags. You can have a Santa penguin, a Yeti, a meanie greenie, and a Christmas tree. on to Camp Meade. The building we were in Camp Meade was very, very small. It could only fit like 6 vendors and we were like crammed in. So I was not expecting to make any sales. And that was okay because I made my booth fee the day before. I had spent $20 to be at this Camp Meade event, and Berlin Elementary gave me the $20 back. You know, girl math. We girl math here, much to my husband's dismay. But I do have to say that with it being such a small area, I was able to find a booth setup that I really, really liked for my, small tables. After figuring out my booth setup, I just sat down and started crocheting because I needed to make holiday mystery bags because I don't think I had any. I sold out the day before and I had prepped some like half finished ones that night and I wasn't able to finish them completely in the morning. So while we were waiting for the event to start, I started crocheting those, and I did remember my stuffing on this one. I did remember my stuffing because if I didn't, I would have been so mad, so mad. I wouldn't have had anything to do because I didn't have a charger, so I was like, I can't play on my phone. That's not okay. I went so far as to write down one of the Instagram patterns that I was using on a paper bag just so that I didn't have to use my phone. So that desperate times calls for desperate measures. With this being so small and me not expecting to make a lot of profit, well, also the addition of when I got there, because this was a 2-day event and I was able to get in on the second day because they just had cancellations and openings. And when I got there, the booth and like the vendors that were already set up in their booths were talking about how terrible yesterday had gone. So apparently Saturday, nobody made any profit whatsoever and they were basically disheartened. So I was going into that environment and that was a real bummer for me. I try to be happy and like optimistic about each market because if you go in with a negative feeling, I feel like the customers can feel that and then they don't really want to be in your booth for very long. The event started at 12 and everyone just started complaining that it was dead, that nobody was here. They were trying to make light jokes and it just wasn't working. And it got to the point where they were saying that they were going to pack up at 3. The event ended at 5. It was a 12 to 5 event. And like I said earlier, you paid for this space. It's respectful to stay. Like, also, this was the first time they were trying this event. And as a vendor, I know that if I choose to vent at an event that has never been done before, it's a bigger risk. I am at a bigger risk for a loss because it's not a well-established event. And in my opinion, if you're not ready to take that risk, don't sign up. Don't sign up because then it just makes everyone else's experience worse. So that event honestly exhausted me because I just kept feeling all that negative energy and hearing the complaints. And that's one of my biggest pet peeves. Like, bigger than packing up early, don't complain. Like, don't complain loud enough where if a customer was able to walk in, they would be able to hear the tail end of your complaints. It really frustrates me that people do that. It doesn't feel professional. And maybe that's just me, but even though this is a hobby, I am trying to be as professional as I possibly can at my booths, and I try not to bad talk the organizers or anyone part of the event because I just think that it can come and bite you in the ass afterwards. Only one of them ended up packing up early, which was nice because, like I said, there was only like 6, 7 of us. So if 2 people packed up or 3 people, it would look completely dead. But thankfully her booth was in the corner, so it looked like nobody was even there at the start of the event. And it got to the point where the event organizer came in and he offered to refund everyone the booth fee. I just felt really bad for him. It looked like his spirit was crushed. And I have high hopes for this event. Like, if they keep doing it, I think that they could really see a turnout. I think that signs right off the interstate would help. I think posting it in the local shops would help, like just posting flyers everywhere. Start talking about it a month before the event and really hype it up. Make a Facebook event. There's things to improve, obviously. The fact that I was making profit was making me feel a little bit guilty because everyone was just complaining the whole time. So yes, I made my booth fee back and then some. I actually made an unexpected amount. No, it's not crazy like 500. Don't worry, it wasn't that good for me. But I sold some things that I had just put out on my table because I had space, and I had them for like a year and they never sold. Like hats. I had a baby hat with like a little pom-pom. I had a Christmas newborn hat. I had one of the big soft chunky hats with a pom-pom, and those sold, which is amazing because I was so sick of bringing them. I thought my baby cardigan was gonna sell, but unfortunately everyone was like, no, they're 2 years old, they won't fit into an 18-month, or they're too big, or they're too small, or they're a boy, because it's a pink cardigan. Totally get it, it's fine. I did almost sell out of my holiday bags as well as my mushroom pops. So I think I brought 5 mushroom pops and I left with 1. And for mystery bags, I had made 4 there and sold 3. So I thought that was really cool. I will tell you all of the items that I sold in order. I think there might be one item that I didn't write down, and I've just got to check my spreadsheet for that one. In total, I sold 20 items. So first was baby hat with the pom-pom, 2 turtles with eyes, because I make turtles without eyes so that it's more baby safe or baby friendly. And then I sold a mushroom pop, and then someone bought 2 mushroom pops. My baby Christmas hat sold. I sold a keychain, the larger hat, a mystery bag, a no-eyed turtle, another mystery bag, 2 whales, a frog, a turtle, a mushy boy, and then I sold a mushroom pop, a gummy bear, and a whale. So my most popular item there was the mushroom pops. And that came out to be a total of $269 that I sold. And taking out the booth fee, I was able to bring home $249, which was so nice. For the whole weekend, I was able to make a profit of $419. That seemed very productive for me. And I would do both events again, even if I made a loss, because I did some really great networking at those 2 events, and I was able to build a larger following and customer base because the eagerness I saw after commenting that I would be releasing a website and doing drops that really motivated me to continue working on that and getting it out for 2026. So hopefully by my next video, I will have mentions of my website being finalized and actually being released to the public, because that would be a lot of fun since I'm taking a break from markets and all of that until August. So from January to August, I'm not doing anything. I am crocheting as much as I can just for my larger events that I plan on doing next year. And then I'm dealing with having another kid. So, well, they're due in April, so we'll be having some newborn time during that, and then just adjusting to life afterwards. So I think for business plan wise, I think all I can accomplish are online orders and maybe a custom here and there. But in order to get a custom, you'd have to DM me on Instagram or private message me on Facebook. I'm really trying to ease into the new year and not stress myself out too much. My videos are probably going to be here and there when it gets closer to April, and then in May, like the second half of April and then May, I'm probably not going to be doing any videos. So just be informed that yes, it will look like I completely went off the face of the earth, but I will be back once we've adjusted to 2 under 2. I hope you guys enjoyed all of this rambling and this market overview. I'm so happy that I was able to actually film some market footage for you, so it's not just me here talking to my phone. Because I know that can be pretty boring, especially if you want to watch a video and not just have it on as background noise. But leave me a comment on what you were working on today, or I don't know, just a like, maybe a subscribe, it helps. If you want to follow on with my chaotic journey of being a stay-at-home mom and figuring out a business. Either way, I hope you have a great day and thanks for sticking around.